Hey, how's it going? Welcome back to the Fjordur Community Cluster. Past couple days, we're doing a bunch of base tours. We got over 40 members on the servers, and I'll tell you what, we have some fantastic builders. It's been super nice going through, seeing everybody's different takes on how they do their bases, their different designs, and all that kind of stuff. However, there is one key base that we left out of the base tours, and that's my own. I've been building a separate one. Didn't do it on camera, kind of did it off camera to do it a little bit different. Welcome to my cottage in the woods. So for this base, I did it a little bit different. I always build all my bases on camera. I bring you along, show you how I do it, and I kind of feel rushed usually because I'm trying to do it all during 1 or 2 videos. So a lot of my stuff I don't get to plan out or take time to do weird stuff with. So this one I did different, man. I went ahead and built it and figured I'd do a tour of it and show you afterwards kind of what I did. We start off here with the teleporter. So this is so anybody can teleport into my base and teleport out. I've also got it set up so we have a very wide range. That way, if you have stuff you're, leaving with, you can bring your tames, get them inside of here. They teleport off with you, and you don't teleport off with mine. That's kind of one of the key things, man. Keep your tames with you. Leave my tames with me. So that's kind of set. It's over and out of the way. This is the front of the base for the most part. It was going to be over there, but this is kind of the focal point of it. We've got a lovely bay window up top. Got some bay windows on the sides. I actually painted the stone. I never paint the stone, right? Went through, painted all the stone except for the pillars. Just the ceilings and floors. I think it looks nice, man. It has kind of a darker tint to it. We've got some of the flags and some of the trophies from the Ecos mod pack. Love them, man. They are fantastic additions. As you get up to the side over here, we got a lot of the plant species. Now, they're mainly for looks. They're also for keeping a lot of the creatures away. I've got a couple more set up on the edge of the teleporter over there. The only problem is we have brackies up here. You do not want your plant species hitting brackies. It doesn't ever go well. Usually destroy your base, so not too sure what I'm going to do about that. You cannot exclude them from the S+ list because it's a modded creature. As you get up over here, we have some of our trophies from our Alpha Rex we killed. Some more of the plant species. This base started off wanting to be the design kind of like I had in Vanaheim. I left there because it's so hard to do your resource runs. You can't fly, so you can't be on your Argentavis. I was really far from the teleporters, so it just made stuff difficult. But I really liked how my greenhouse was, so we brought that over here. Definitely integrated that in as everything else was changing. We've got kind of our little sunroof up top. The thatch is made out of greenhouse, so you still get the 300% effectiveness inside. As you can see there, it says the greenhouse. You can change the texture and stuff on it. Now, on the other build, the glass pieces in there I made as thatch as well, and that way it was kind of all solid, but I think this looks a little bit better, man. It lets light in, and you can definitely kind of see in, and you can also see out, so it's kind of nice, man. It's something I'm trying that's a little bit different. And the whole reason for having this is because on these side pieces here, it's part of the inside design. It just has the frames removed. I'll show you more about that as we get in if you don't know. Down here on our decks, we kind of hard to see because of the shadow, but we do have kind of like a little step up, right? It's a little tiered system. A little bit of a drop just so it's not a flat deck out here, and it is high enough to where you can just walk over it. You might trip, but you can definitely walk up and down without having to have stairs, so it's kind of nice, man, kind of nice. This is open here. Kind of worried. We've got Troodons, we've got the Dillos, got Raptors, all that kind of stuff here. The plant species will take care of most of it, but that's kind of the front of the design right there. We do got the beer barrel out here. Love it. Definitely need it for taming some things. I only did one. I was thinking about putting a second one over here. We will see. There's plenty of room. It will match and kind of make everything the same if we do. A little bit of food and water. Coming up on our side over here. So, over here is going to be where we do our breeding. I was thinking about having it up on the roof, kind of like we had on the last base up over there. But I think we're going to do it on the ground here. It kind of makes it easier, especially with like Gigas and Rex. How they are so big, they won't clip into the foundations. You don't have to worry about them falling through whenever you log in. It's better that way, man. It's going to be another barn or something over here. Not too sure on the design. The main thing I wanted to do was get our main part of the base done. So that's going to be a future build. Probably we'll do that on camera. Got to have a horse. You can't have a little cottage in the woods without having a horse. It's one of our server members dropped this off for me. It's nice, man. It's nice. You got to love it. And in case you're wondering, the black design and stuff, that's part of the Ecos mod as well. It's a saddle that goes on it. So see, that's the normal one. Love the saddles, man. This is actually my favorite one too. So it's nice, man. It's always nice. There you go. I was gonna say, you gonna change back? Again, on this side, we've got our feeding trough. We've got a little bit of a different design on the side. We don't have a bay window. We do have a small little deck up there, and it's open. We'll get to that in a minute. As you come to the side here, we got the bay window, and then we actually have a cliff here. It drops off. It's one of the reasons I wanted this location, just to have a nice overlook. We've got the blue obelisk. We got the snow area. Very, very nice. You got the sunrise over there. The sunset over there. It's not too bad, man. Not too bad. Let's head inside over here, and I'll show you something special. One of the reasons it took me so long. So, as you notice, we have the windows here, right? We got 4 of them. Our doorway is actually in the middle of those. So, as you know, with building an ARK, you cannot have stuff in the middle. It's either on the right side or the left side. So what I ended up doing was a lot of weird stuff with these starter blocks. You can go ahead and put a starter block down in between the two. You have to get it all lined up, and you can raise it up, and that way you can set your doorway. The problem with this is normal pillars are too narrow, and you're going to have gaps. It just, for some reason, the spacing is weird. So these are actually dynamic pillars right here. These are just normal ones. So they're a little bit bigger than they should be, but it fills the gap and makes the door look somewhat decent. Unless you're staring at it, you can't really tell that it's a different pillar, you know. A lot of time spent, and I actually had to have some people help me with this. We couldn't figure out how to get the dynamic pillars to clip, and what you have to do is you can free float a normal pillar right next to this one. Put your ceiling on top, and then your dynamic one can connect after that. So it's a little bit weird, man, a little bit weird. And, as you notice too, we have the step up. So this is all the same height as it is out here. And this is all down 1 level. So we do have some ramps right here. They're kind of color different. I didn't end up painting them. But it is a step up to get into the base. Went ahead, we got our 4 windows here. We got another trophy on the inside. We did stuff a little bit different. So over here we had, this is kind of how it started off, was like the other base that was in Vanaheim. This used to be our breeding area. It is not anymore, obviously. We've got our breeding and hatching and everything up here. We've got our greenhouse. We've got our hatchery that's kind of tucked away behind the stairs. That's also where our door is for the greenhouse. We got bat storage up top, so that actually serves as a couple different things up top. We'll get to that in a minute. Our greenhouse is a little bit different. So I have all the main crop plots in here. We've got all of our vegetables. We've got all of our berries. We've got some extra narco berries and some of the tinto, just for making our medical brews and taming stuff like that. We only have the gardener, so the farmer usually dealt with putting the fertilizer in crop plots. We good? Probably a Trudon. But the actual soul terminal does that for us, and a lot better, it seems. So all we have is her in here. We've got our beehive, and then this is all closed in with our crop plots. I did up here a little bit different as well. We do have a little access hole to get up here and do maintenance if we need to. Gotta have a light in here to help grow. And then we've got the kind of the sunroof. That's what I was saying, man. It kind of shines through with the way that the roof is now. Really, really like this design, man. It's kind of weird. You know, it's like I said, it's half in the base, half out of the base. Very, very nice, kind of like a little focal point. But we have all of our crop plots up here. Everything fits without going through the roof. So we're kind of set. Out here, we've got our soul terminals. We've got everything from our automation stuff. We've got our breeding and then our normal stuff. I went ahead and walled this off. So normally in my base builds, I like it nice, big, and open and everything. I wanted to do this a little bit different. So I figured we put somewhat of a half wall in here, and that way it's still kind of closed off, but it's open at the same time. We've got the windows to try to have that kind of pass-through look on it. I definitely like it. We did something different too with the walls. So we got some stone, we got some wood. There's like no real reason why I picked one or the other. It's just something that I decided to change around a little bit. All the wood, or all the stone is painted though, and then the pillars are the normal colors. As you get in here, we got all of our crafting stuff. Got a little bit of a kitchen over here. I finally set this up. I saw these in everybody else's houses. Really liked it, so I went ahead and set one up myself. We got all of our salts. We've got our little industrial cooker and stuff. And I got this sorted out. So, again, something I saw in people's houses was they had on their ceilings, the carpets don't show through, right? For some reason on the foundations, the carpets they don't really show right. So what I ended up doing was everywhere I wanted a carpet, I picked it up, and these are actually ceilings. And these are the actual foundations here. So it's not too bad. We've got the refrigerator. We've got our grill. Again, another carpet. You don't want your feet to get cold, man. Not while you're trying to be warm by the fire. We've got our replicator in our industrial forge. We've got our incinerator for getting rid of our trash very easy. We've got our chemistry bench, our grinder, and our smithy. So it's not too bad, man. I really like how it's kind of sectioned off from the breeding area. So the thing with the breeding is we can go ahead and hatch stuff up. I've actually got some little ones here I forgot to throw back out. Let them do their thing. As they get raised up a little bit, we can go ahead and put them outside. They'll still be safe because over here on our keypad, I've actually got it set up so whenever I leave and I'm worried about the tames being outside, we got the force field. Kind of keeps everything safe. It's nice, man. It goes literally right to the edge over here. Did not plan that out. It just happened to work like that. Covers the whole base, goes all the way to the front. We've got some room up here for some tames if we want to set them out. And then as you can see, I left the Giga out just to show you there's plenty of room. Yeah, how's it going, Junior? Still raising up. We got plenty of room for at least 2 Gigas out here, and they can be in the force field protected. So that way it kind of keeps the tames out. Like I said, man, there's some of the brackies around. The force field will kind of protect us from that. It keeps the plant species from shooting. So whenever I'm logged off, I don't have to worry about things getting killed. I mean, that is unless I forget to feed the nanny or put stuff into the feeding trough. But, I mean, that's a whole other issue. Let's not even talk about that. Let's check outside before we go up top. And let's turn this back off. So outside here, we got our pterodon. We got some of the plant species. Not too sure if I like this. So on the front, kind of like the overhang, right? It's a little bit higher. Over here, it pokes out some, but I kind of like the plants. I didn't put any of the Z seeds. These are just the Y ones. The Z's are kind of weird, man. They stick up way too far. A little bit more bulky. I like the light from them, but I kind of decided just to go with these. Little bench out here. We do overhang a little bit, so it's kind of nice. Please do not fail me now, wingman. But we do hang over a little bit. I've got some little struts on the side, just, you know, structural integrity, keep everything up. But it's nice, man. It's a nice little deck to walk out on. And like I said, the pterodons and the bats are very nice for landing down here. Step up. We go back into the base. Go up our staircase here. We've got a little balcony. Not too sure about this. I might actually extend this out a little bit or do something different. I was thinking about glassing it in. But we do have this all nice and open. Like I said, I do kind of like on the other bases I saw whenever it was open. And this was the one place I decided to go ahead and leave with no doorway. It's kind of nice, though, man. It's kind of nice. I thought about putting one of the dynamic ones up here just to open and close, but with the force field, no real reason to. Got our chair to watch the sunset. Got our bench if you prefer that instead. Loadout mannequin for whenever I go to change maps or need to do something, I can just go ahead and quickly swap all my stuff out. We got our 2 preserving bins up here working away. They're kind of tucked away. It's kind of nice. Got our guardian shine horns, and we've got some sunlights. I went ahead and put some little sunlights in here. I can't remember which base I saw it on. Somebody had some of these up, and I really liked it. So definitely wanted to integrate it. Again, we have our bat storage here. It's kind of nice. They're out of the way. They're high enough so they're not hitting you whenever you're trying to walk around. And up here, I kind of use that for storage as well. We've got our tech generators in there, and that's where our shield is, right? The generator. We've got our little walkway to get out. Over here, we've got our bed and stuff. And more shine horns. Boy, I tell you what, gotta have the shine horns. You are not an ARK player if you do not have shine horns. And wingman. I got him a nice, soft rug in front of the fire. Just in case, that's actually wingman. Wait, we have wingman 7 on us. I did not lose him. Just want to update you on that. But we got the fireplace here. Went ahead and closed that wall off back there so that's kind of flat and nice. Our Viking bed. This might change. I might actually end up doing 1 or 2 of the tech sleeping pods. The thing is, this only has 1 respawn point. I thought it was kind of 2, but it's actually only 1. So if you die twice, it could be a problem. We'll see. I like the design. Really like the bed, but that might change out to 2 beds in the future. Little table in here with some water and stuff in case you get thirsty at night. Lovely bay window, man. I really like the bay windows. If you haven't noticed, it's kind of my thing. We got glass on the sides too. I was kind of thinking about whenever I was building to put this over here just because it has a better view, but it just didn't work out that way. Again, I don't plan too much out. I just kind of start building and changing as I go. It's a lot better view, but you got the outside seating here, so it's kind of nice, man. As you come out onto the roof here, we do have roof access. That's where we can put our other bats. We've got our shadow main up here as well. It's also where I think I'm going to be putting my trophies. We only got 3 now, or not trophies, but the artifacts. Only got 3 now, but it's kind of nice, man. And that gives me a way to get up here too. So for the shield generator, I got it kind of closed in. I wanted it on the top, mainly because that way it would encase the whole base. And ended up doing some of this on it, because as you can see, it does poke up through the roof. So went ahead and put some glass around it. Let me turn it on. It looks fantastic whenever it's running, man, with that up there. And it also gave me room for putting the generator. As I said in a lot of my base tour videos, I love having generators and generator rooms. And that kind of worked out up here. It's nice, tucked away. It's by where the shield generator is, but it looks kind of cool, man. Barely sticks out a little bit, but there's only so much you can do with building an ARK. Looks kind of nice, kind of like almost like a little lighthouse beacon. And then up here is just our normal stuff. We got our fireplace chimney. Got to have one of those. And this is just our bay windows up top. Come back in through here, and you got your whole base. Again, man, I like having it open with the outdoors. We don't do PvP on the server, so I'm not worried about getting raided. All that I'm worried about, and the main reason for having the shield, is just to keep the dinos and stuff out. But I can't wait until I get like a barn built over here. Not sure what we're going to do, or if we even will. Might just set up an area that's kind of like a little platform to have another shield generator. That way I can have more than one thing out at a time, you know, whenever I'm trying to do my breeding. The gigas do take up a lot of room. It's not too bad, though, man. It probably took me roughly 14, 16 hours, I would say, on trying to get everything built up. Again, that's the one reason why I wanted to do it off camera, so that I could just take my time, man. The main part, was this. It was driving me nuts trying to get it. It's a little bit different, and to be nitpicky, some of the pillars are not exactly lined up, and stuff like that. Some stick out a little bit more than I like to. However, if you're just looking at it, it's very functional, looks pretty good, it's not too bad, and it's a doorway in the middle. Not too crazy about hitting these stairs on the way in, but it is what it is, man. But it's not too bad, man. I like it. I am very happy with this build. Again, Vanaheim was the main spot I wanted to build in. However, that didn't work out because of the resource, you know, trying to get stuff sorted out with doing resource runs. And I'm kind of glad I ended up moving up here. It's more central, easier for people to get to me, and it's a nice place, man. A lot more room to expand. However, we are going to go ahead and leave this one here. Hope you enjoyed the video. Hope you liked the base tour of my little cottage in the woods, man. It's one of my favorite bases right now. It's kind of on the top of the list. And all we're going to do is end up expanding on it. As always, thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.